What's going on, Flix Talkers? Welcome back to Flix Talk Podcast. Now, I'm back with a quick non-spoiler review for Avengers Endgame. Now, guys, this is the end, but man, was it so bittersweet. I got to talk about some of the cool things that I really liked and maybe some of the dislikes, if I had any, in this film. So I believe it is the 22nd film in the MCU, guys. And man, this one was emotional. And you know what? I actually went back and I rewatched Avengers Infinity War maybe about 4 or 5 days ago just to kind of get a recap, but I definitely wanted to go in this not comparing the two. I definitely wanted to watch it as a standalone, but it was cool to get a refresher. A lot of things kind of tie in from either these filler movies like Captain America, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So if you guys have not seen those, I would urge you guys to kind of go back, check those out, even Black Panther. So a couple of the previous ones, guys, even Thor Ragnarok, because they do reference a lot of different things. And it's cool to see them kind of all tie in. And I have so many thoughts going through my mind right now. Get your butts ready because it is a 3 hour movie. Well, 2 hours and 54 minutes technically. And it's like 7 minutes of credits. So, yeah. That's still a long time, but I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, guys, it did not feel like a 3 hour movie. There was a lot of interesting stuff, especially happening right in that third act, especially when we get our like huge battle scenes, because there are a couple in this one, guys. I'm not gonna let you know who's fighting because, like I said, it's a non-spoiler review. I'm gonna let you guys go in it and find out all this good information on your own. But it's really cool to see a lot of these remaining Avengers just step it up, because if you guys have not seen the last one, you know only half of the Avengers remain, as well as half the population on Earth. So it's not much of a spoiler there, guys. If you guys haven't seen Infinity War in the last year that it came out, I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard about the snap, and you guys know about what that all entails. So it's pretty cool because we actually get to dive a little deeper, and I don't even want to talk about the topic because it's kind of a spoiler area, kind of getting into what the central theme is going on. And I know they kind of showed you a lot in the trailers. I mean, we get to see Tony in space, and then we kind of see Tony back with the rest of the Avengers. So they kind of screwed up in that sense of, well, how did he get back then? Obviously, we know that he gets saved and all is well with Tony. So kind of, that's where I hate the trailers sometimes, guys. I hate watching them, but I mean, especially for this one in particular, Avengers came out with like a bajillion, okay, maybe not that much, but at least like 10 to 15 TV spots, they call them, like kind of just like new footage they kept rolling out like every couple of days, and it was getting really annoying. My feed was just kind of loading up, and I checked out the first couple, and I saw a couple of new footages here and there. Thanos has a new suit and whatnot, so I was kind of getting bits and pieces thrown at me left and right, and I kind of after a while just stopped. I don't want to see it anymore. And then they actually started coming out with this campaign called hashtag Don't Spoil the Endgame, and all the Avengers were participating in that. I had the amazing opportunity to have our biggest spoiler in the movie spoiled to me. So thank you to those few assholes that really did that and really respected my wishes, guys. I really appreciate it. But it's fine. I'm so tough skinned when it comes to stuff like this. I got annoyed for maybe 2 seconds, and then I went on with my day. But you know what? It's inevitable. Unfortunately, there's a lot of trolls and haters out there that just want to crush us fanboys. But it's not going to stop us from getting our ass in those seats and just selling these movies the hell out, because my theater was sold. And if you guys didn't know, this is going to be shown for 72 hours straight. Yes, 72 hours straight. So we're talking about like showings at 10 p.m., then another showing at 2 a.m., and then another showing at 7 a.m. It's just going to keep going back to back in most of the theaters. I don't know if every single theater is participating in this, but it's going to be mega, guys. Like, talk about like super fanboying out. I'm sure a lot of people bought tickets for back-to-back showings. They're going to be sleeping over at the damn theater. We know it's going to make crazy money. I'm calling it, before I had said maybe 280 million opening, but now I'm definitely thinking over 330 million, guys. All right, so look for some big numbers. So let's get back to Avengers Endgame. So right away in the first act, a lot is thrown at us. I believe it's a couple years after the last movie, guys. Don't quote me on that. There was a couple of timeline jumps here and there. We have our remaining Avengers. They have to devise a plan, trying to get the rest of the Infinity Stones from Thanos on whatever planet he's on. They don't even know, by the way. And they have to use, the assistance of Captain Marvel. So we see her in the trailer. We know that she's going to be an integral part. But the thing that kind of tripped me up is that everything starts happening in like the first 20 minutes. And I'm like, what? Like, is this the whole movie in 20 minutes? Like, what's going on? But no, once I started seeing things unfold, I'm like, okay, something's going to happen here. Something's going to happen with this person. This is going to happen. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not saying it was predictable, but I knew they had a lot more to unfold because it was a lot more movie to kind of just roll out. Non-spoilers once again, guys. I will have a spoiler review coming later, probably in the next week, because I want to let it marinate for those that aren't really super diehards and are going to see it this weekend. If you guys can even get a ticket this weekend, I bet you guys can't. If you haven't already got a pre-sale ticket from last month. But anyways, a lot of stuff's being thrown at us, guys. We have a lot of character development, especially in this very, very open scene before we even get that Avenger title card. We got to see a huge pivotal scene, guys, because it does lead to some character development later in the movie. Now, one of the main things I did like about this film, other than the music, which I always talk about the music, the scores are always on point in these Avengers Marvel movies, guys, was all the characters that remain. Now, a lot of people call them the OG Avengers that remained. A lot of our new guys like Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, even characters like Falcon, who I don't care too much for, are just some of the few that disappeared in the snap. So we're kind of left with the OGs to devise a plan. The only thing is they don't have too many brains in the group other than Iron Man and Bruce Banner. So they have to kind of come together, devise some kind of plan to find out where Thanos is, get these stones back, reverse time without messing up, the current timeline, almost like the butterfly effect. You guys have seen that in so many pop culture movies. Back to the Future specifically, you go back and you change one thing and it messes up, the order of things to come. So they're trying to do all this without messing up the future. And it's a very, very difficult task, guys. And it was actually really, really cool trying to see them all work together just to try to build and devise just something. So I don't want to get into the central chunk of this movie because it does kind of contain some spoilers, and it's something, I'll just say it's something that's not really shown in the trailer. And it was really, really cool kind of flashing back and seeing a lot of old characters in the MCU, and that's all I'm gonna say. It was really, really cool seeing a lot of those old characters that I hadn't seen for like decades in some instances. Very, very cool that the MCU kind of threw that and sprinkled that in. We also got to see our final Stan Lee cameo, guys, where I barely caught it, but it was Stan Lee. And then I believe even one of the Russo brothers made a cameo. Now, don't quote me on that, but I believe this was one of the Russo brothers that looked like him in one of these scenes. So we get a couple of little, cameos in there, unfortunately, guys, and it's not really a spoiler, but I'm kind of disappointed they didn't show any Stan Lee tribute. At least in my theater, I did not see any mention of Stan Lee. Rest in peace, Stan Lee, like we saw in Captain Marvel. So I'm a bit disappointed in that one, guys. I mean, this is an end game, end of an era for Avengers movies, and we're only gonna get solo movies from here on in, as far as we know. But I would have loved to see that, because I mean, this man is responsible for putting smiles on our faces and having, giving us heroes to root for, even anti-heroes to root for, So a couple of the dislikes that I had were, I believe in my personal opinion, I felt like they threw in way too much comedy. It almost felt like the comedy level of a Thor Ragnarok, guys. So we're talking about that much humor was thrown in when I felt like it was a serious matter. Just to let you know, guys, right off the bat, a couple of Avengers do die. Now, some of you may call that a spoiler. Most of you guys knew that this was going to happen. They had to throw, I mean, if you guys are watching some of your favorite TV shows, as these later seasons kind of go on forever and ever, they start picking off their main characters just to keep you guys invested in the story so much. They love to tug at your heartstrings, and that's what they did in this one. And there was a couple of emotional scenes, and some of the MCU did die, guys. Some of the characters in the MCU do perish. They go out very gracefully. and I was appreciative of how they went out, and I respected it. You know, like I said, it was very emotional scenes. I did tear up and cry. I did cry because these are characters that we invest our time and our lives into, guys. And I mean, some of us have been watching these movies. If you're a youngster, some of you guys have been watching these movies half of your life. Now just think about that. Put that into perspective. Marvel Studios, a decade. Some of you guys, if you guys are in your teens or 20 years old, you guys have been watching this shit for the half of your life. Think about that. That's insanity to me. So it's just cool that Disney's finally taking over, and I believe that they're going to do a good job of just putting more solo projects or who knows, reboots or whatever into this Avengers and Marvel world. So it's going to be really, really cool because I don't think we're done with the Avengers. We may be done with that set of Avengers, but I think more will come from this. I mean, there's a lot of these newcomers that are really, really stepping it up. And I like the direction that this movie was headed from beginning to end, guys, especially once we got into that third act. Like I said, we do get to see Thanos again, obviously, guys. So I'm not going to get too much into it because there's so much that's like spoiler talk and just like the central theme of what is going on. Once again, it was not shown in the trailer. So that's awesome that they kind of tricked us a little bit about what their central theme, what was going on and what they were building, because they were building something. I'm not going to go over it, but what do I give this one, guys? I think after a second watch, guys, I'm probably going to enjoy this more than Infinity War, just for the fact that it kind of wraps up all these loose ends. It's a amazing bow out, for the Avengers. And like I said, some of my heroes do die in it, and it was emotional. So for that, I got to give this movie a solid 10 out of 10, guys. Yep. 10 out of 10. So definitely check it out if you guys can. I know I kind of sound a little, it's 10 p.m. right now as I'm filming this, the premiere night, Thursday, April 25th, 2019. And I'm still a little bit choked up. I'm not going to lie, guys. I mean, I'm invested this much in these damn characters. Call me a nerd. You can call me whatever you want. These movies bring me so much joy and joy to millions and millions of people around the world. So for that, I got to give this one a 10 out of 10. If Infinity War was a 9 or a 9.5, this is definitely a 10 out of 10. Some of you guys may disagree after this weekend watching it. I know I'm going to go back for a second watch, but like I said, as this movie kind of progresses and we get to see what happened to these characters after Infinity War, it's a really, really cool tie-in, and I just enjoyed it overall, guys. I had a really good time, and like I said, it didn't even seem like 3 hours. 2 hours at most is what it seemed like for me. The only way I could tell that time was really passing by is I really had to take a piss, so that's the only time, that's the only way I knew that time was going by. 10 out of 10. If you guys agree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you guys didn't, leave it in the comments below. Let's get a dialogue started, all right, guys? And whatever you guys think about Avengers Endgame 2019. All right, guys, if you guys did like this review, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification, like always, to get notified about content like this. All right, guys? Till next time, I'm gone. Peace.